Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Empress Martha here with another video. And guys, if you are new over here, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button because I know you're gonna like it. So just subscribe, alright? It's free. Hit the thumbs up button as well and drop a comment in the comment section. So guys, I won't do a long intro today because today is the last day of vlogust, and today we're supposed to be talking about pregnancy. We're supposed to do a pregnancy story, and you know there's gonna be a lot of chit chat, so especially for me because I have 5. Yes guys, if you don't know me, welcome to my life. I have 5 kids, so today we're going to be talking about our pregnancy story. So don't go anywhere guys, just subscribe and sit back, relax and listen. Alright?
Hey yo, big up to all of the family and all of the friends. You know, say it's Empress Marcy again. Just watch the video straight to the end. See?
First of all guys, if there's gonna be some little icky part, so if you know that you are that kind of scornful type of person, just go ahead and click off this video. Alright, because from you see the topic, you should know that there is some stuff that's gonna come up that you're gonna, if you don't want to hear it, then just don't watch. Alright, okay guys, let's go. So guys, for my first pregnancy, I didn't have any problem with perfume or lotion. I could use anything, I could eat anything. The scent of food or all those things didn't bother me at all, but it was childbirth that was extreme. Trust me guys. When I started feeling pain, my mother called my nurse because we had already gone ahead and hired a private nurse, and she called her and she said that we should meet her at the hospital. So when we met her at the hospital, like, I was just there for hours, just feeling just a regular pain. It wasn't, you know, like when you're on your menstrual, that was the type of pain that I was feeling, and I was there for a day and a half until she said, no, I'm gonna have to induce labor. But guys, before she induced labor, she did a thing that they call douching. Anyway, I won't tell you what happened, but basically what she did was cleanse everything out of me so that when I was giving birth, they didn't have any thing coming out down there. If you're a mother and you're watching, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, after the whole douching process, she said that she was gonna induce labor now, and I really didn't understand what she was talking about. But anyway, she hooked me up on some drip, and oh my god, the pain started. Like, the excruciating pain that I was feeling. Trust me, I don't know how to explain it to you if you are not a mother, but it was horrible. The pain was terrible, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. So if you're watching and you are planning to have a baby the normal way, the natural way, you have to feel pain. Anyways, it took me like maybe an hour after that, maybe an hour or less, before I had my baby girl, my first child. I'm gonna insert some pictures of her to show you. So guys, when it was time for me to give birth, she you know, they test you and tell you that you're how much centimeter apart or whatever. Anyway, it was time for me to give birth because we have to cut the story and cut it short. It was time for me to give birth, so I was there and I was, you know, in pain. I wasn't really paying much attention, but then I felt something. Oh my god, I felt a pain down there. Tell you what the nurse did? She used her scissors to cut me down on my vagina. Yes, I can say the word vagina. We're all grown people. Yes, and I grabbed onto her hand and I said, nurse, you just cut me. Guys, you could hear, you know, when you're cutting a piece of cloth with the scissors, that's the sound that I heard. But it was the pain, guys. It was the pain. Oh my god. She said to me after I said, nurse, you just cut me. She said yes, I had to, because the passage was small and I had to make space for the baby's head to come out. Guys, it was the worst thing. It was the worst. I don't even know how to explain to you. If you have never experienced this, I don't know how to break it down to explain this to you guys. But anyways, she asked me to do a big push, and I did a big push, and the baby head come out, and she said, okay, don't push any further, I'm gonna help you. And she somehow held the baby by her shoulder areas and pulled her out. But after she cleaned up the baby and everything, and you know, if you know how Jamaican hospital is set up, you have to the area that you had the baby, they transfer you to another area. They brought me to the theater to do the stitching. It was Dr. Nepal. If you're from the Savlamar area, you would know Dr. Nepal. He was a head doctor for the Savlamar hospital at the time, so he was doing the stitching that morning. He told me everything, the entire process. When he was giving me the stitching, I didn't really feel it because he had already numbed the area, but it was the injection that was painful. Just imagine getting injection in a raw cut. Oh my God. After that whole stitches ordeal, upon that, they gave me instruction of how to treat it when I went home. I don't know, I must have forgotten. I was young, and I must have forgotten the exact. I didn't remember exactly what they said, but I was steaming myself over the water. But the instruction was for me to sit in the water as hot as I can bear it. That's the kind of water that I should sit in with salt and Dettol, and I should do that every day until the stitches fall out by itself. Guys, I was doing a complete total different thing. You see, by the time 6 weeks come and I'm supposed to go back to, if you know how Jamaica's system set up, you have to go to the clinic after 6 weeks of giving birth for them to check on you and to check on the baby. When I went to 6-week clinic, my cut was still raw. It was so painful that I couldn't sit in the clinic at all. I had to stand the entire time with the baby. I'm telling you, even when I'm at home, I have to sit on one side of my bottom like that. And my mother said, no man, this can't real. So my mother called the nurse. Remember that we hired a private nurse. So my mother called her and said, what is happening with my daughter, because she's in so much pain and she cannot sit down. And the nurse said, is she following the instruction? And my mother said, what instruction? And she said that she's supposed to be sitting in hot water, as hot as she can bear it, with salt and Dettol in the water. And my mother said, no, she was just steaming herself over the bath and whatever. And the nurse said, no. You see, guys, after I start doing what the nurse said that I should have actually been doing, then the cut started to heal and the stitches disappear. It was new as brand new. That was my first birth. All I can tell you is that holding that small person in my hand was like the most beautiful thing that could ever happen. And in one of my previous videos, I was reading out some stories that I wrote about my kids. I'm not gonna do it in this part of the video, but I will insert it in my slideshow. Now, moving on to my second. All right, like pregnancy with Crystal was pretty much the same as Donna K. I don't remember feeling sick, vomiting, or anything like that. No, I can't recall having any of those problems with my second child as well. But I fell twice, yes, while I was pregnant. One time I was cleaning the house. Let me just give you a quick story. I was cleaning, you know, back in the days in Jamaica, when you're cleaning, you have the liquid polish that you rub on the floor that makes it really shiny. So after I polished the floor, I was mopping. And when I was mopping now to give it that final shine, when I reached towards the doorway and I was mopping that part, somehow the floor was too shine, so the mop went that way and threw me outside right through the door. It so happened that Jeffrey was coming around the house side at the same time and saw me and my back and took me up. But I was okay. And the next time I didn't really feel, but I was determined. You know, you have cravings when you're pregnant. I was determined to get some gooseberry, and my sister-in-law and I went to the gooseberry tree, and gooseberry fell in my stomach. So now Crystal wear glasses. She could have swear that it's because of me while she's wearing glasses now, because she said that Neesberry that fell and hit her in her eye while she was in my tummy and that is the reason why she have to wear glasses now. And every time we bring up the story, she's like, yes, it's because of you and that Neesberry why I'm wearing glasses now. Pregnancy was like smooth sailing. I'm sorry, Sassy, this video can't be 15 minutes. I have 5 kids. So anyways, moving on to labor. I was there feeling pain one night and Jeffrey took me to the hospital, and as the hospital was full, so the head doctor said that anybody that their headwater haven't burst as yet, they should go home and come back. I don't know what they were thinking, but they said that some of us have to go home. The ones that were in real labor that was feeling pain and they have their headwater has burst, they would stay and deliver, but some of us have to go home. I was one of them that was sent home, and by the time they sent me home, in the middle of the night, I just felt whoosh, my headwater burst at home when I was pregnant with Crystal. Yes guys, and Jeffrey had to rush me to the hospital, and I gave birth in less than 2 hours. Yes, I gave birth in less than 2 hours, and I'm like, you know, these nurses could have caused a serious problem just by sending me home. What if the baby had come on the way? Some people, it worked out for them, but who knows? That could be a serious problem. So yeah, that was my second birth. Moving on to my third pregnancy with Tashika. Guys, when I was pregnant with Tashika, it's like, I don't know, but I couldn't eat certain things. I couldn't take the scent of certain food. I couldn't take the scent of certain lotion. I had to hide some of Jeffrey cologne because I couldn't take the scent of it. I went to the doctor one day. The doctor said that the baby was in a breech position, and it was soon time for me to have baby, and the baby was in a breech position, and that she would have to be born footway. I remember crying and crying and crying, and I'm like, how am I gonna do this? Is my baby is gonna be okay or whatever? But anyway, prayer. I prayed and everything, but they started sending me to a different clinic, a clinic for ladies with high risk. And I was on my third visit to the high risk. They said that yes, it's time for me to have baby because the baby has turned and I am okay now. And in space of a week, I went into labor. When I had Crystal, you remember the cut that first nurse gave me? They had to cut me back the same place. The doctor said if they don't cut me back the same place where the nurse gave me that first cut, would have burst out on its own and it would have been worse. So each time I go back to have baby, they have to cut me in that same spot that nurse cut me. Anyway guys, after I had Tash, I went home and I was feeling so much pain. I have never experienced afterbirth pain before. I heard people talk about it, but I have never experienced afterbirth pain before. And guys, it's just like you're in labor, trust me. I felt some pain, and I called the clinic and they said that I just need to take pain tablet. And I remember Crystal had a godmother up the road. Her name is Joy, and I called Joy. She worked at the doctor's office and she sent me some painkillers. Even after I took the painkillers, it was still painful. Like I felt like there was another baby left inside of me. I thought I was going to die. That's how bad it was. And the worst thing about it, whenever I breastfed her, it doesn't matter if I put her up on my shoulder and burp her, she still would just puke up in the middle of the night. That all the feeding would come through her nose. Everything that she was fed the entire day would just come up through her nose. So on top of me feeling the afterbirth pain, I could not sleep because I thought my baby was gonna die in the middle of the night. I have to be watching her constantly, guys. It was so traumatizing. I have to be watching her constantly. And I went back down to the hospital and I told the nurse that, nurse, no matter how much I breastfed this baby, the feed keep coming back through her nose. And she was like, it's because you're not burping the baby. And I said, nurse, I can sit here right now and breastfeed this baby and show you and burp her and show you, and the feed would still come through her nose. And she said that there's nothing she can do for me. All she can tell me is that I am not burping the baby properly. Remember guys, it's my third child. I know that I'm supposed to burp my child, and I was burping her. Up to now, I don't know what was the problem, but all I know that I have to, on top of the afterbirth pain, I have to sit up with her every single night. Like I was like, every time I doze off, I would jump up and look at her to see if she's okay. And sometimes I would doze off, and when I like, it's like I feel like somebody waking me, and like when I wake up, the baby feed was just pouring through her nose, and I was so scared. Oh my God, it took a while before I could get over that, trust me. And sometimes when I think about it, I'm like, how did I even go through that? So guys, now moving on to my fourth child. Yes, I'm wrapping up. Moving on to my fourth child, I'm just gonna give you like a few insights of what happened, like, you know, some ordeal or traumatizing things, stuff that I went through. So moving on to my fourth child, which is my son, my one and only son. Yes, the pregnancy was pretty much the same, like when it comes on to food, yeah, certain types of food and stuff like that. I remember one morning, the chef, I was working in Negril, and one of the chef offered me breakfast, and I remember the chef gave me an omelette and 2 hard-boiled eggs, and I ate them. And after I ate them, I asked him for another omelette. Guys, I am not lying to you guys. I could just feel everything, you know, like sometimes I feel like you want to vomit and you have to go to the bathroom to force it up. No, it wasn't like that. I could feel it coming up from down here, coming up straight to my mouth. I had to get up from the dining table. I was sitting in the staff area eating. I had to get up and rush into the bathroom, and everything just come up, like it was just pouring up. And from that day, he is 17 years old now, and I still can't eat any egg. I tried eating egg because I used to love boiled egg. I can bake with it, I can put it into my pastry, and I can eat the pastry, but I can't eat the egg itself up to today, and it's 17 years now. I can't eat it. So that was one of my ordeal. And a callaloo, guys, if you know me, you know how much I love callaloo, and I couldn't eat any callaloo at all when I was pregnant with JR. But callaloo is something that I went back to and eat, and I was fine, but I just still can't eat eggs. Anyway, moving on to labor. After I went into labor with JR and I was in the hospital, after I gave birth, the nurse said to me that if I could go to the bathroom by myself. And I said yes, I could go. She asked me if I could go and clean up and shower by myself, and I said yes. She didn't explain to me that I had lost a lot of blood. She just asked me that out of the blues, and I was like, yeah, because you know I was laying down, so I felt fine. So when I get up to go to the bathroom, after, you know, they take the baby away to clean up the baby and whatever, after I get up to go to the bathroom, when I sit up in the bed, I felt my head feel a little dizzy. But I sit and I wait a little. I still didn't know what was going on. So I went to the bathroom. When I went to the bathroom, I took my bath and everything, and I was about to step out. When I was about to step out, I feel the entire room spinning with me. The last thing I could remember was someone opening the bathroom door, coming in. Another baby mother was coming in to use the bathroom. That's the last thing I could remember. When I woke up, I was on the bed. I was on the hospital bed, and the nurse was over me, like shouting at me, screaming at me, saying that I asked you if you were okay to use the bathroom, and you said yes. But I didn't understand why she asked me that. I felt fine at the moment, but she should have explained to me that, Marceline, you have lost a lot of blood and we're concerned about you. But when I look, I was on drip. They had to hook me up. The doctor said that they should, before they gave me blood, they should just hook me up and see if the drip would work and if I felt better. But I almost died, guys. Like, just because of her. I still blame her, because she should have explained to me and said, Marceline, you cannot go to the bathroom by yourself because you lost a lot of blood and we're concerned about that. She didn't. And I'm still emotional about it, because, you know, certain little things like that cause people to lose their life. Yeah, that was a serious matter. It could have gone wrong in split of a second just because she did not explain to me. But, you know, I had a sweet baby boy. From all of that, you know, put that ordeal aside, I had a really lovely baby boy. So now guys, moving on to Kendra. She's the last one. She's my 5th and last child. So moving on to Kendra, guys. I was working as a massage therapist when I was pregnant with Kendra, and my pregnancy was going fine. I wasn't having any morning sickness. I wasn't absent from work, nothing. I went to work as if nothing was happening. Yes, that was my pregnancy with Kendra. I did deep tissue massage, Swedish aromatherapy. I cut back on the aromatherapy because of the scent of the oil, and they said that some of the oils weren't so good for the baby, so I kind of cut back on that. But I was doing stress cure, deep tissue, everything with my full pregnancy. Yes. So guys, when I reach in my 8th month of pregnancy, I have to walk a few distance because the hotel is like 2 hotels in one. It's really huge, and I have to walk quite a distance to reach the spa, so it took a toll on me. Yes, I couldn't manage, like when I was walking to go to the spa, like my legs could not open properly. I felt like if I walked too fast or if any sudden shift, I felt like the baby was gonna fall out. That's how I felt. So I had to speak to my manager, and I said, like, I plan to work up to my 8 months, but I just couldn't. I could not work up to my 8 months, guys. So I spoke to my manager and I said I have to go out. I could have to take my maternity leave now, and I went home. And like during the first week of being at home on maternity leave, my foot started to swell like really big, and I was so concerned. So when I went to my regular checkup at the clinic, the nurse saw she was doing a full body check on me, and she looked at my foot and said, "Oh my God." And she made a phone call same time, and she said, "From now on, you no longer come to this clinic, you have to go to high risk clinic." Yes guys, high risk clinic again. She said that my body was she think my body was retaining the water because of the amount of salty food that I was eating. My body was retaining the water. If you had seen my foot, one of my co-worker came to my house to look for me, and she said she saw my foot before she saw the rest of my body. My feet was like huge, twice the normal size that it should be. It was really swollen from the ankle come straight up to my legs. They were swollen. So that was like the worst thing that happened when I was pregnant with Kendra. As I said before, I had worked for months, do every single massage just the same. So when I went into labor with Kendra, guys, when I went into labor with Kendra, trust me, it was how do I put this? It was kind of funny in being in the hospital, because the girl that I was beside, every time she had her contractions, she pulled her curtain and started staring into my eyes. I found it very funny, because guess what? My contraction were like a few seconds after her. So every time I see her pull the curtain and look at me, I'm saying, "Oh my God, it's coming." The storm is coming. Like, I didn't cry. Only the first time I cried, but I did like how some people would get up and walk with the pain and stuff. Like, no, the pain was too much for me to even move off the bed, and I had to lay down on the bed. I couldn't even sit up. Even when the nurse come and said, "Turn on your left side, it will help with the pain," I couldn't even move. I don't know what she was talking about. Like, I'm in so much pain. Like, "Nurse, I can't hear you." So one at the time, the nurse come and ask me why am I clapping, because every time the contraction comes, I couldn't, like how some of the ladies were next door screaming and carrying on. All I did was clap. You see, by the time I had baby, my palms were hurting so bad because I was clapping the pain away. It was so funny, but man, that girl beside me, I can never forget her face, her complexion, everything. about her I could remember, because she was like so funny every time. Even when it was my turn to deliver, when the nurse was delivering Kendra, she was over there pushing, because I think she was in a race with me. I don't know, it wasn't her time to push. There was no nurse over there with her. She was just over there using up her strength, trying to have baby before me. I don't know how to explain it, or what she was thinking, or what she was doing. It was her first child too anyway. She is like, I think the pain turned her head, like she's not aware of what she's doing. That's how I would put it. She would just pull her curtain, look in my eyes, and she was looking in my eyes with so much pain, and I'm there thinking, oh my god, my contraction is gonna come right now, because we were like about a few seconds apart from each other. And yeah, I found it even though I was in pain afterwards, I found it really funny when I think about it, and I came home and I tell everybody about this girl. So yeah, that's my pregnancy story. There's so much more that I could say, but I don't want to freak out anybody. I don't want to, you know, some people don't like want to hear certain stuff, so I don't want to put that out on YouTube, which I think mostly women is watching this, so like, what's there to hide? Yeah, but this video would be way too long if I should tell you everything. So yes guys, 5 kids, and that's my 5 pregnancy story in one. I hope it was what you came here for. Yes, I have nothing to show or go into any deeper details, because I don't know what's accepted on here. So yes guys, that was my experience. That was my pregnancy story. Yes, if it's your first time over here and you've made it to the end of this video, I applaud you, and I ask you, please just hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and guys, go ahead and leave a short comment in the comment section and share your experience with us. And if you don't have a pregnancy story, just go ahead and still leave a comment, alright? And guys, don't forget to check out my vlogust friends. All their links are in my description box down below. And once more, shout out to Sassy Ren and Simply Carla Jones for hosting this amazing vlogust group. And thank you guys so much for watching. Bye guys.